So I have a few ideas that I'd like to move with you. We're all online at the same time. Is that agreed? Is it also seen that somehow, whatever we are, we're spending attention elsewhere other than present, here and now? Yeah? So we're not going to do the Eckhart Tolle thing. It's much more ancient than what that beautiful man described, this now. There's a few ways I want to go with this. And I would really love you to come along. To be very clear with what we first deeply are, is not only a wise thing to consider, what am I? Am I a person? Am I a man? Am I a woman? Am I a bus conductor? Am I a therapist? Am I a bank clerk? You ever considered that whatever you've believed you were or you are is taking up your attention right here, right now? You can call it image, but mostly our attention isn't the function of now. Our attention has become the function of time space, of past and future, and never what we truly are. So I'd like to go with this with you all. If you'd like to really come, that's the only way I can describe this. So we're all in different physical places. That's obvious. But we'll all also be in different mental and emotional and psychic places. That's not so obvious. And yet we're all really one placeless place. That's also not obvious. In other words, I am the one. And everyone here can say, I am that. But it's not identified with a place, a space, a time, mental, emotional, psychological. Not at all. And yet it sheds its light through all those apertures. Let me show you how that works. Most of us lose our attention during many, many things during the day. We think we hear and see something, but we're hearing and seeing through the past. We think we hear and see something, but we're hearing and seeing through a hope through future. We never see anything in the now, in the immediate openness of here and now, our true nature. Please look at this. So we literally sacrifice our beauty, our wonder, our ability to know love as ourselves, simply because we look through the aperture of believing we know ourselves. We look at a bird as if I know what a bird looks like. But have you ever seen or heard a bird like for the first time? Let's say you sat on a park bench. And it wasn't so much the bird that caught your attention. It was your attention, fresh and new, that saw the bird more than your mind could ever describe. Beyond any idea of memory, whether it be sight or sound or place. So in that moment, attention was not moving on the time-bound linear lines of a small self. The small self that wants to protect itself from the past, the small self that wants to protect itself from having something it doesn't want in the future, the small self that doesn't actually exist but is invented with the lack of attention of the here and now, which is one's true innate presence. Why would you ever dedicate yourself, let's say, you would do this, to go sit on your balcony for 8 straight days, where you would be so present, so open, your attention would flourish in the now, because you were seeing any distraction, but not giving it any attention. What you would discover, you who is awareness, you would discover how the mind makes you believe that you've seen things before. Makes you believe you've seen them in the past and you will see them in the future. It makes you believe that you have a past and you have a future. So then attention is totally devoted to the distraction of space-time that is not reality itself. So if you sat on your balcony, or you dedicated a week to sit on a park bench and to keep your attention absolutely present, you begin to see and understand that you've been following your mind as if it's you. You've been following movement as if it's you, backwards or forwards. Now, truly, what I'm speaking here has to have value for you. Otherwise, you won't come, you won't inquire. If this has no value, to be honest and frank with you, there would be no point in you sitting here. Other than maybe you might hear. I don't know. But if you were to sit attentive, you would be the here and now. Because that's what you are. You would see the bird in great life and light and wonder. Because the bird simply is the manifestation of the now, which is the one who's listening to these words now. You would be opened and touched by realizing attention without distraction. You realize the power of it, the depth of it, the meaning of it, the wonder of it, the freedom of it. Now, this is where I really want to go with what I'm about to say. Well, what I'm about to say is where I really would like you to come, if you would like to come. You'd see for the first time only to live on the edge, only to live completely on the edge of all things is your remarkable enjoyment of now, which is you. To live on the edge of life in its turmoil of chaos and its changes. To live on that edge without trying to fix any of that. You would discover you, the wonder of you, the vibrant here and now. It is you that is wonderful. You are the vast here and now. You would suddenly not avoid chaotic situations. You'd see the whole universe is in chaos. And the chaos actually transforms and brings new life. You would not make opposites any longer. You would not only be willing to live on the edge, you would see that you are the edge. You are the completeness of all that is. You are the rich life. You are the wonderful. You are the beautiful. You are that. It's your mind that's telling you there should be no chaos in your life. There should be no this in your life. There should be no opposites in your life. So you try to navigate around the chaos instead of cease navigating whatsoever, because you are the ocean. of presence, aware as self. You are the unlimited. It's you that is always the fresh, the new, the wide, the wonderful, the glorious. It is what you are before you identified yourself in the duality tales of this and that, good and bad, right and wrong. You can look at it this way. Maybe this might be too cosmic for you. Maybe it might be too esoteric for you, but let's have a go at this. Is it not true that there are many forms in life? But is it not true there is much emptiness in your life? Isn't it that emptiness and fullness is the movement of the now that creates, dissolves, and recreates itself in the now? So we might have been taught to only have forms of this or forms of that in our life. But both the formless and the form are the same. One movement, one stillness, one here and now. If you really begin to look at this, then attention is no longer focused on particular forms or the fear of lack, the fear of no thing, the fear of death, or the fear of life, forms or no forms. It all ends when awareness is fully flourishing in primal attention. An attention that's not mental, but attention as primordial, sometimes called presence, but I would say more so. Then you begin to see maybe something that I've been looking at. Trying to find the way to speak this. You and I are the one organism of all of life. There is not flowers and bees. Bees and flowers are one organism. There is not the cosmos and the void. It's one organism. When you begin to see these things, your attention begins to change from space-time to pure presence now. It's really not a teaching, but some of us has to be pointed back into what we primarily are, presence aware of itself. And what this brings about is a mind that no longer moves to keep naming things. It brings about a mind that only shines light back to itself, to realize itself. You might look at your house as your house, but your house is you, one organism. You might look at your life as there's you and your life. No, there's only one organism. See how the mind is somehow created two. Fullness and emptiness, yin and yang, but they're the movement of the same one. So you can't help but experience attention fresh and new. Here, now, cannot do anything but manifest the fresh and new. Here and now. Formless becomes form. Form becomes formless. It's constantly knowing itself, thriving itself, re-educating itself to completely see its divine self is all there really is. When you look at a lot of what we're told in this world that creates duality, if anything you're told is duality, have a look how they cancel each other out in truth. One is not attacking the other. The other is not attacking the other. They recreate this moment called now. In such presence, when attention is utterly fresh, only love moves. Only bright reality emerges. Only wonder fills up the spaciousness of the appearance of what we are. So to truly ask yourself on a more than daily basis to bring your attention, not to function through the mind field of the known, but to cease functioning for anything. When attention is, everything is fresh. When attention is, love is real because it's you. When attention is alive, the universe is alive. When attention is alive, relationships are alive. When attention is fully opened, there is only the wonder of what we deeply truly are. So whatever is in your life is one organism of your oneness, your true state. To be so present, attention to be so fresh, you'll be losing all the ideas around your self-image that you're not good enough or never will be, or others are not good enough and never will be. All those ideas will just fall wonderfully apart. You'll realize you are the one good and it has no opposite. But your attention must be given fresh feet, fresh hands, fresh eyes, a fresh body. Then you'll begin to see quite clearly, in real attention, nothing's moving. In real attention, nothing is moving. And like the bird, in real attention, the bird isn't moving. The one life is. The one glorious life is. The one light is. The one profound living being is. And the ideas around you ever lacking begin to diminish. Attention begins to take on no more space or time. It begins to take on what you are and reveals you to you. Attention that no longer moves in space and time shows you all is pure being. Being or not being, it's the same organism. It's like I watched Shakespeare last night. To be or not to be is not the question. I think he said, to be or not to be. But to be or not to be is the same one. Emptiness and fullness creates this. Whatever this is, this could be what you are beyond sense perception. Clearly right now, this is what you are as sense perception shining. None of this has anything to do with the kind of attention that keeps digging up ideas of past or future. Attention without movement is the flourishing of your true self throughout the cosmos. It's so simple, really, mostly missed. Why? Because we don't see ourselves so magnificent. We don't see that what we are is a supreme openness that the entire cosmos and all divine worlds are inherent in. We don't see that we are not complex, but the multi dimensions that have come out of this now, which is the what we are, seems to have complexity only if you identify with mind and image. Yes, it's quite difficult for people not to see. It's you that's the magnificent one. It's us that is the magnificent one. The magnificence is that we, us am. Just one thought, one image sends our attention into the bottom of the pit. Freshness of our attention is the sweetness of how we enjoy the sunshine, how we enjoy an innocent spring flower, or a caterpillar that's crawling up your back, that's in your bed one night and you have a little itch and there is a caterpillar. I'm just telling you what's in my bed. There's a caterpillar. Oh, I've got an itch here. And it's a caterpillar. Who knows how long it's been here? But obviously, we're one organism. We can give our attention to the known, or we can give our attention, discover the here and now. That transforms this notion of the known, because everything is fresh and new in the now. And this biosphere we call a body has been created from the now, and will only function truly deeply from the now. You can bend it and twist it and get it to believe it's of space and time, but essentially it knows it's not. This body knows it's the now. So we could engage each other now in full attention nothing would move, and we would meet each other as the one self now. There's so much wonder that is in the seat of our light of being in each and every one of us, hidden by the lack of attention given to what we really are. We give it away to recreate the same old world in our minds. So our minds no longer become a shining mirror of the pure light of I am, just clouded with impressions of space and time. That's not to say that you and I could not look into a night sky and experience directly what the cosmos is. But please consider this, and this is not going off of track. How did you get here? How does anything arrive here? What makes you think or believe that you're not bringing it all here now? If you are the now, surely you're bringing everything here now without beginning and end. And in this gaze of now, so you can have your eyes open or closed, but in this gaze of now, nothing is moving. In the pure presence, everything is seen deeply. Attention becomes fresh and new. Now I'm suggesting to you an attention that's fresh and new. We can heal a body. We can heal a mind. We can heal a planetary system. When we are fresh and new, new powers of the here and now begin to come through. All the old images of ourselves just vanish because we realize we are the self. And we love ourself, the self. Living on the edge becomes the joy, wonder, and aliveness of the now. Everything moving is seen to refresh and renew everything that is living into life. Everything is refreshed in the now, by the now. Take a timeline thought, and you're literally throwing away the power of the now. Each one of us will have to do this. At death, you're shown what the now is. But at death, it's the same as now. So one can discover now. Nothing familiar here. Everything wonderfully unfamiliar, fresh and new. If you look at the world, it will not teach you to live on the edge. It will teach you to worry and scurry along as if you depend on the world. But the world is just a little blink in your mind. But the cosmos is an incredible blink in your fresh, new mind, blinked new now. And what now is even beyond the blink of the cosmos. Consistent attention, not given to the fraudulent idea that you are limited, a small self, and were born and going to die. But give your attention back to here now, which is what you deeply are. You'll live on a wonderful edge, a fullness alive. So this kind of attention, let's just take a breath and close our eyes. The kind of attention that no longer follows an image, no longer follows the image of past and future, but is the presence of awareness itself. Stay here. Stay here. You will recognize this here. Because this here is the now, which is you. and it is utterly still, and yet moves beyond any idea of speed. And it communicates immediately throughout the cosmos and all unseen worlds, instantly. You're not a function of this. You are this. And all forms are a movement of the wonder of this now. Now here, being, now here, not being. Form and formless does not affect the now. You are now, fully formed and fully invisible, fully now. And what you are brings all now into manifestation and brings the invisible into manifestation and transports the visible into the invisible. So being and non-being can realize itself now. When you're really recognizing now to be what you are, there's no question of what you will do or not do. There's no things for you to do or not do. You are the now. Things will just happen now. Everything will move now. Everything will flourish now. Everything will return now. All is now. With attention of such full presence, there's no small mind to monitor duality, because there is no such thing. You begin to see now everything as it really is, fresh and new. And yes, your compassion will also be now, and your love will also be now. And you are the now that's flourishing the cosmos and all that is. I bring my hands together now to symbolize both being and non-being are the now. Both visible and manifest are the now. Both light and dark are the now. It is all the wonder of now. to really see this is what one is. You must investigate the now with all your heart, all your presence, all your attention. The now is literally what one is. The now is literally the transformation of all that is. You are the transformation. You are the new form of that transformation. You are the invisible and the visible made now. I take a deep breath. The whole body of appearances is the aliveness of now. The invisible is the purity of now. And here we are now. Just keep dropping deeper. It's not the way in which one thinks creates. It's the now that creates now and deepens the way from which all comes and returns. The sublime is you and I here and now. Oh, look, I have a pussycat here and now. Come and say hello. Can you say hello? Oh, it's going to say hello. There we go. Okay. It's just come. Look, white came from the black. Just happened. We could put you into wonderful here and now groups. Really take the opportunity to discover now. Just go into it. Discover now. See that your body, although it appears, is made of now. Every organ is that receives the now. Never did those organs receive anything of space or time. These organs receive the now, come from the now, and literally return to the now. Have a good sharing together. See you in about 10 minutes or so.